And so for any of you that wants the link afterwards, let me know, and I'll probably email you end of webinar summary of what we talked about, and then that'll have the link as well. So why don't we just do a little intro, each person, so we all know in whom we are in community with. Let's just do a 30-second intro for each person, your name, what you're working on these days, maybe where you're quarantining, and what you hope to get out of today. So I'll start. I'm Jen. I am focusing on creating a ton of value for my audience and for all you people. Continuing my coaching and consulting during this challenging time. And today, just hope that all of you leave inspired to take some action towards what's important for you today. Nice. And I am based out of Marina Del Rey. All right, Paola.
Hi, my name is Paola, and I'm working right now on my script. It's been 4 years, and I'm trying to make it better. So working on another draft, and I'm in Vancouver, Canada right now.
Cool. What do you hope to get out of today?
That's an interesting question. What am I looking? Just get inspired to get some going energy, right? Like I want to kind of get out of my head, which is not helping me to be creative. And it's just a matter of feel inspired, right? Like feel some boost in my energy so I can just, do it, what I need to do, follow up.
Thanks, Paula. Sabrina.
Hi. I don't know if anyone can see me or not. My name is Sabrina. I'm calling in from Edmonton, Canada. And I have a retail boutique, a women's retail boutique. It's called Miss Boss. And we have recently had to close our store, probably about March 20th, somewhere around in there. So it's been about 3 weeks that we've had the store closed. Luckily, I have an online store, and I have been in business for about 10 years. So we do have a good customer base. We do have a good following. However, it's not the same, obviously, as being open to the public. So these days, I feel like I'm working harder than ever before and making way less money. So
I think a lot of us can relate on that one.
Yeah, so it's a little bit exhausting at this point. I also have 3 children, and one of them isn't in school yet, and my other one is high school, and my other one is elementary.
Woo!
So
full house.
Also, so I'm also working on the homeschooling right now as well, since they're all out of school. I find this time it's stressful and it's busy. And I think today I'm just hoping to get an idea of what other people are going through and seeing if anything, it just makes me feel better.
Yes.
So I just wanted to join and just listen to what other people have to say. And that's it. So,
thanks, Sophia. Chris.
Hey guys, Chris here. I am in Honolulu, Kauai right now with some family and some friends. So if you hear roosters and weird birds going on in the background, I apologize. But yeah, I've been working with Jen. She's been awesome. I'm a partner in a hotel management and marketing company for independent boutiques all across the globe, and just working out a hospitality mastermind webinar and finding value, how we could refine opportunities and become better in the space, and just make sure that we stay engaged. So it's a very unique time. Majority of our hotels have closed their doors. Few are single % occupancy. This came out of nowhere. So it's all about value. It's all about strategy and just learning from everyone, becoming better.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Craig.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Craig Lynn. I am in West LA. It'd be nice if I was in Hawaii, but not there. And I have an early stage startup where essentially to keep it brief, it's basically meant to help streamline and simplify the move-in process for apartment property managers and their residents. And so we were testing with them with a handful of apartment buildings in LA before this all happened. And now there's not really a lot of movement happening in terms of people moving and movement and move-ins. But we're starting to do a slight pivot into something else that will help apartment complexes. And in terms of what I'm looking to get out of this, it's really just keeping an open mind. I attended your session, what was it, February or January?
Yeah, February workshop.
And it was a lot of fun. And so I wanted to reconnect again and see you and see what you're working on and learn anything new from you.
Awesome. Thanks, Craig. Mariana.
Hi guys, my name is Mariana and I founded a company called Glassbox, and I build software tools for virtual production using virtual reality and game engines for content creators. And I had offices in Germany, Australia, and China. 45% of my business was China related, which was great up until very recently. And everything's kind of crashing down.
Yeah.
A lot of the studios that I work with can't even work remotely because of issues with Marvel and Disney and security and all of that. So it's really challenging times. A friend also just passed away from COVID-19, so fun times. And I just wanted to join to see the awesome Jen in action because I think she's amazing, and just see other people and feel a little bit normal.
Thank you so much, and sorry about your friend.
Thank you.
My condolences. Stephanie. There you are.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie. I'm the founder of Prana Wellness. So we do wellness in the workplace through yoga, breathwork, and meditation. So we have different corporate wellness packages. Obviously, they were all on site, and I went into office spaces. I have 5 other wellness coaches under me, and they go to different clients around LA and LA area, expanding to Chicago. I was trying to expand to other cities right before this happened. We were actually in Hawaii. We were in Maui literally days before everything shut down. So we got back. Hawaii's great. I really wish I was still there. What I'm working on right now is trying to do what I thought about doing a year ago, which is doing virtual wellness. And Jen and I talked about this. I said one of my big goals for this year was online courses. This was 2 months ago when we had that workshop.
Yep.
I met Jen at Cross Campus doing a workshop, and we talked about vision for 2020 and then self-limiting goals or self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And I realized, I have a lot of them, and that's why I haven't done an online course up until now, but no time like Corona to do an online course. So that's what I'm working on now. It's been kind of fun, but at the same time, it's like a lot of work. And I've been offering private online sessions. I've been hosting Instagram live classes, Zoom classes, all of the things. I have a class today. So I'm in yoga gear. So if you guys want to join, let me know. I have a slow flow yoga class today at 5.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks.
really,
What do you hope to get out of today?
I hope to get out of today, I guess, just strategy. I mean, obviously, I think everyone on this call is going virtual in some way. So strategy to, I guess, appear different and add value and show your value to people. Because I think everyone now has some sort of digital offering just in the past 3 weeks. So what can we do differently in our own respects to add value to our potential clients?
Awesome. Thank you. And last but not least, Kelsey.
Oh, hello. Sorry if my dog barks in the background. He sees a truck. But so I'm from Calgary, Alberta, and I do digital freelance marketing. And I think what I'm working on right now is obviously maintaining a current client base in this, where I work with a lot of brick and mortar locations. So a lot of them have been closing, and a lot of them, and unfortunately me as the budget is the first thing to go. So mostly maintaining that. And then today I'm just hoping to get some motivation on tips on managing myself during the time.
Awesome. Thanks so much. All right. So as you've all noticed, most of you are on mute. And if you want to contribute to just say your thoughts or anything or have questions, then just go ahead and unmute yourself and speak. I just didn't want all of 10 people to speak at the same time. But I just want to say thank you all for being here and spending time together with us for this next hour. We're going to make it as valuable as possible by giving you practical guidance and support so that you can take these tips and strategies and immediately apply them to your business and in your life. And so this will not only give you inspiration and motivation that you need to feel like you're in control and that you've got this during this challenging time, but also allow you to have actionable steps that will give you focus on what you can control, so that you focus on the positive and creating that positive mindset rather than falling into the trap of the negativity and focusing on the things that aren't working and what we don't have. I know a lot of the times when I have my bad days where I didn't shower or wash my hair or put makeup on, where I start to focus on feeling helpless or just the immense impact of what we're going through right now. So we are all in community here. Everyone here is up to something and we're all struggling. So just wanted to create this to encourage everyone that we're not alone and to give you something different than out of your self-isolation routine, because I know some of you live on your own, which can make it really hard as social beings, especially if you live by yourself. So we're all feeling the squeeze and just want to stay connected and support each other through this. So this is the first one of many, but trying to host these every week on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. And you're more than welcome to come more than once because they're free. And I just wanted to stay connected with all of you. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen with you. And I'm going to go ahead with the presentation. So let's see. How am I supposed to do this here? Here we go. Okay. All right, great. So today we are talking about managing yourself through the COVID-19 crisis. And the best place to ask questions after this, after the webinar, is in the Facebook group. And I'm going to give you the invite at the end, but I'll also put the link into the track group. And it's just a great way to stay connected with each other while coaching and training isn't happening, so that we can stay focused and keep sharpening our sword and supporting each other through this. So I'd just like to ask you, and if you can unmute yourself, if you want to contribute here, what are your biggest fears around COVID-19 and the coronavirus right now? And what is affecting your mindset the most? Anyone?
Sure. I'll share. I think what's affecting me the most is thinking about the aftermath and how long it's going to take businesses that are my potential clients and myself to recover from it. I'm not so much worried about the now. I think now is kind of a nice creative space to be in. I mean, not that I would want it, but I think while we're in it, it's a nice creative space to be resourceful and do other things. But my worry is that after, clients may close contracts with me, or they may not want to hear about yoga in the workplace right after coronavirus because they're worried about 10 million other things in their workplace. So thinking of how I can be of most value to my clients after COVID is over and, when we're all free again, and how I can get the sale and close the deal, because I had like 4 deals on the table like a week before COVID happened, and obviously none of them closed because all the workplaces are closed. So kind of picking up where I left off and trying to recover from that has been on my mind.
Thank you so much. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of uncertainty, and I think we can all relate to that. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else?
I mean,
Yes.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
Chris.
I was going to say, I'm in the hotel space, and hospitality is such a large business. We work with so many segment markets, and the idea that majority of our hotels run 85-90% occupancy, that what will the pace be like when it slowly builds back up? And I feel it's going to be very, very low. You know, it's going to be probably 5 to 10%, and we don't know the hesitations with these business travelers and so on. So I think my concern is, will it get to that 80, 90%? And if not, what do we got to do to keep creating enhanced value and business and make money during the process? So I guess it's the unknown in that business, because it's a difficult time.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Yeah. Again, I think the common thread there is that there's a lot of uncertainty and we don't really know what's going to happen. So there's just a lot of, fears around that for sure. Anyone else? All right, moving along then. Okay, so our agenda for today. I'm going to give you specific tips and strategies for the following topics: leveraging your strengths and growing your weaknesses, focusing on what you can control and the value you are giving, and how to lead and support your team through this crisis. How many of you are here to focus on your career when it comes to these tips and strategies? Can I get a show of hands? Good. And how many of you want to focus on your personal life and your life outside of work? Good. Great. Okay. So a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about today can also be contributing both to your work and your personal life. So for example, how to lead and support your team if it's your personal life, how to lead and support your family through this crisis as well. So the first thing we're going to go over is leveraging your strengths and growing your weaknesses. Anyone heard of a SWOT analysis? This is a classic business term. It's something that you use as a tool in order to see a big picture and a blueprint of where you're currently at. And especially with your business or with your job or career, this is really good and gives you an opportunity to see the big picture here. So SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so, for example, Stephanie, if you want to be focusing on your value here, this is a good point to actually pinpoint what your strengths are. So what do you deliver to your customers and your clients that's different than what other people deliver or offer, right? So how are you solving the customer's problems, and how are you communicating that so that they understand that that's what they need? And which customer's needs are you satisfying? And so strengths is just basically a way to evaluate and analyze exactly what you're good at and how you set yourself apart away from your competition. Weaknesses, of course, are areas in which you need growth or you need to develop. So a lot of times here is, what could you improve, whether it's people or practices or your product? Where do you have fewer resources than others? Where are others likely to see as a weakness? And what are you lacking? Opportunities are all around us. So right now, obviously, we're in a challenging time, but there's also plenty of opportunities if we're willing to see them and if we're prepared for that as well. So what opportunities are open to you? Are there chances for something positive to happen in all of this? What trends could you take advantage of? How can you turn your strengths into opportunities? Because even small advantages can increase your organization's or yourself, your competitiveness. So other things to consider are to watch out for changes in policy that's related to your field, or perhaps sanctions or things like this that are pertaining to the quarantine. So how does that affect you? And are there ways that you can pivot in order to use it to your advantage? And also changes in social patterns, population profiles, and lifestyles as well. That can all throw up interesting opportunities. And then T for threats. What threats could harm you? What is your competition doing? What threats do your weaknesses expose you to? So thinking about these things ahead of time allows you to plan and prepare for some threats that you might be exposed to. And then the second point, understand what you're good at and why that is valuable to your audience. So that is something we call the unique selling proposition, or just the value proposition in general. So again, to create that value or to discover it, what is it that you do that's different than your competitors? How do you deliver it to your customer? What are you solving for them? What needs are you satisfying? And what bundles of products and services are you offering to each customer segment? And so if you're solving a customer problem that satisfies a customer need, it could be in different segments as well. So there could be different opportunities more than you think. If it's just one customer base, perhaps you can use the same model or the same product or service to a different set of people. And what, why, and when. So this is a great way to communicate your value and your strengths. What it is that you are offering, why is it important, why is it different, and when is it? So when are you providing it? When is the sale? When are you offering a webinar? It depends on what your offering is, but that's a great way just to concisely present your idea and communicate it to your target audience. Any questions here? Chris, Stephanie? I know this was on your number one value point today.
No, I love it. I think just real quickly with what you're saying, the what, why. So the double why is can you repeat the second why again?
What it is, why it's important, why it's different, and when it is.
And I love the why it's different, because what we're doing, what we need to do, I think, as individuals, is to be the differentiator, and that's where I want to kind of take a lot of focus on, what is that differentiator and how can we magnify that so people say yes and keep the engagement.
Thanks. Stephanie, do you have any questions?
No questions. I guess I like what you said about watching the trends and seeing potential opportunities, because even though the situation sucks, there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of freebies, and a lot of just places to learn. So I think that's good to learn how to add more value by, increasing your own knowledge. Now is the time to read books and podcasts and webinars.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now more than ever, people are finding fun ways to work out at home. And anything home related, whether it's dumbbells or weights or bands and things like that, yoga mats, those are just flying off the shelves right now because people are looking for ways to keep healthy and keep sane within our little box.
Yeah. I think, well, that may be for after the call, but it's just interesting because I think everyone is in a sort of a frustrated space. So you would think that everyone's looking for it, but it's like, I don't know, it's almost like it's too much because everyone's looking for the same thing. So there's so many online workouts and so many freebies, and every teacher that I know, aside from myself, is doing Instagram live classes. So
yes, absolutely. Because there's so much noise, how do you differentiate yourself? So the first thing that I would recommend is actually doing the SWOT analysis so that you have a big blueprint and it's very clear on exactly what you're good at, what you're not good at, what the opportunities are, and what you need to watch out for. Sound good?
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Anyone else? Anything to add? Sabrina, Kelsey, Mariana, Craig? All right. Focus on what you can control and the value that you are giving. So what are they? What are the things that you can control? And this might be a simple question, but the day-to-day, sometimes we just wake up and we have bad days where you know, we just don't feel like doing anything because we only have to answer to ourselves. But the things that you can control are the things that are going to set you up for success. So the most productive and proactive people during these last 30 days so far are the people that have created a structure around their day and their routine. So a consistent morning routine is very beneficial. I have a solid morning routine on the days that I know I need to be productive and get shit done. Other days I stay back and chill and maybe do more like yoga and stuff like that in the morning to stay calm and set myself for more of a receiving and internal day. But other things that you can control. So not only structure and routine, but how do you feel in the morning? What contributes to how you feel during the day? So your energy, what do you need in order to feel focused or feel ready to take on the day? And you want to take those steps in order to make sure that you are creating that structure and that routine. Also, when it comes to strategy and planning, those are solid things and very important and essential to getting through this and coming out on the other side even stronger. So what are you doing with your business to prepare yourself for this decline in revenue? How are you managing your finances in order to make that happen? Are you communicating with your staff or with your team and supporting each other in order to make sure that you're there for each other and communicating clearly? What are you offering, your product offering, your service that is different than the rest? And if it's not different, how are you getting that message across to your audience differently? Or perhaps what are you offering that's an added value? That's maybe something extra compared to your competitors. And of course, environment. What do you need in order to be focused and get work done? I know that me trying to work in bed is not a good thing. I'm not going to be productive. So I make sure that I create that routine and, you know, shower, get out of bed, and then come to my workstation here. Like when I'm in this room, I'm in work mode. So have you created a work focused environment so that it is productive for you? Your behavior, your mindset, your practices, are you taking care of yourself so that you are eating healthy, you're getting exercise, you're meditating, you're doing all the things to fill your cup so that you actually feel like you can take on the day and face these challenges that we're facing, whether it's homeschooling your kids or trying to create more revenue and income when a lot of your customers have paused or stopped their payments. You know, there's a lot of things that we need in order to get through the day. So just want to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success there. And then other things, are you communicating with the people that are important to you and connecting with them and keeping up with the relationships? So I know we are in self-quarantine and self-isolation, but I'm FaceTiming my family more often than I ever have. Also best friends and keeping up with them, making sure that they feel good. Are we connecting with the people that fill our cup and make sure that they're also supported as well? So finances, like I said, planning for declining revenue or income is essential right now because, as you all know, we're all feeling the squeeze here. So if you have a plan that'll allow you to activate certain triggers when you reach a 20% revenue decline, a 40%, a 60%, and maybe even 100%, how are you going to survive? What cuts do you need to make in order to keep the business afloat? And if it's pertaining to your family life or your personal life, what can you cut out that is going to give you a little bit more runway down the line? And what I mean by that is, what is going to continue to pay the rent and groceries and that kind of stuff? Those are obviously essentials, but what are non-essentials? So when it comes to that, what can you cut out of your life so that you can maintain on the income that is currently the status quo right now. And if your income is declining and it continues to, how will you manage so that when you actually get there, you are prepared and it's not surprising or a shock to you? And yeah, opportunity is what happens when there's preparation. So to prepare yourself as much as possible, especially when it comes to your finances, is never a bad thing. And so going back to what the opportunities are, what can you recognize that that you can see as a positive spin to what's happening right now? Are there other things that you can do? Are there other ideas that you can create out of this? How can you pivot what you're currently offering and what your current service is to maybe attracting a different audience, or maybe using another platform, or communicating them in a way where you didn't think to communicate? And these are all ideas that we can share with each other after this webinar as well, especially in the Facebook group. So as far as opportunities go, right now, because everyone is being squeezed, costs are way down. So if you are able to, you can negotiate your fees. There's ways to negotiate lease and rent, deferred payments, or even just relief from the payments in general. And what was normally acceptable before may not be acceptable now because of the income. So just try to think about outside the box. What are the opportunities here? Because long-term winners invest at the bottom of the cycle, which means right now, if you have the money, financial investments are really cheap. So that's a great opportunity. And just using this time to create your competitive advantage and improve yourself and your business as well. Any questions here or any comments from anyone? Sabrina, how are you keeping structure and routine during all this?
Yeah, so the routine is really important. Sorry, Jen, can you hear me? I don't know if I did this.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so just keeping our routine. So making sure that I don't take this opportunity to sleep in, because I'm a big, I love to sleep in, but I'm making sure that I still get up every morning at like 7:38 when I normally would. I make sure the kids still get dressed, and my husband is working at home as well. So he, he's downstairs. He's set up an office for himself. I'm lucky in the way I have a really nice home office that I've used. So for me to sit down there, it's that still feels really normal. So I just make sure that I just kind of keep just kind of doing things like I used to, just to keep that routine. Even though our store is closed, I still come here every day, 12 to 3, just to kind of, keep things in a forward direction with orders and deliveries and all of that kind of stuff. So
that's great. And then that's also your designated time for you as well, where you don't have the kids or your husband, it's just you at the store, right?
Yeah, that's right. So
nice.
Yeah, and I have had to let some people go, but I do have one girl that's still with me. So, we just kind of communicate all the time, and it's just nice to have that second set of hands to still be able to help with things that if I'm feeling overwhelmed from work. So yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Mariana, do you have any comments to add here? What's working for you lately when it comes to what you can control?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I can control. We were already set up to working remotely. I already worked from home 1 day a week, and I allowed flexible schedule for my developers. So that's good in the sense that we were already prepared to work remotely at all times. So I'm also pretty lucky in the sense that I have a home office, and my kid is doing online school. And so all of the structure and the routine, all of that works very, pretty good. I try to control the fact that you see the news and it just feel really overwhelmed and sad. And then finding out more and more people closer to you are either getting it or dying or this and that. And it's like controlling the feeling of not being in control or of anything really, and trying to be productive while you're feeling really down, which is not something that I'm used to. So I'm just trying to focus a lot more on, I don't know, redoing my product roadmaps and trying to use this time to figure out ways in which we can clean up the code or do better code reviews, or just kind of really trying to implement better processes and just take this time to do the things that we never have time to do from the engineering and product side of things.
Yeah.
But sometimes the most challenging part for me is not working remotely, is not any of that, is just keeping positive. When I'm really not feeling that positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Paula, what can you say about staying positive and seeing this as an opportunity? Paula? No? Kelsey?
I would say a lot of like structure. I find I work best if I have like an actual plan in place and like everything down from like if I'm gonna do a at-home workout, I put everything in my calendar and I do it in time blocks. Like even walking my dog in the morning, I'll get up at 7, walk the dog, come back, have one thing for an hour and then set up another thing for another hour and a half, and then consistently do that every single day. I find if I don't do that, then I end up doing nothing or just being more leisurely about it, and then I think I get in my head a little bit more and I end up overthinking things a little bit more. So I find just to keep like that mental clarity, I do better with structure.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. All right, so lead and supporting your team through this. And again, team can also mean family, because we all know there can be chaos at home, especially just with everyone consuming the news and their opinions and everyone's different level of fear. So this is pretty simple, but hard to focus on during times like this. Are you open and frank and focused with your communication? And are you communicating often with those people? Are you spreading hope no matter how you feel personally? This is really important as a leader, is that when you are communicating with your team, that you are realistic, but you're also hopeful. And it's important to be, I just said that. It's important to be both hopeful and realistic, so that you're not just saying, you know what, everything's going to be okay, but how are you going to be okay? And do you have a plan towards surviving this? And that's when I go back to, with your finances, and how are you going to survive for the next 3, 6, 9 months or year, so that you are prepared if it gets to that point. And this might be a bit harsh, but there's nobody to rescue your business or career but you. So let that one sink in a little bit. Of course we have good days and bad days, but on the good days, are you focused on actually doing the work that you need to get done in order to survive this crisis? Are you doing the right type of work? And we can talk more about that afterwards as well. Expect more of yourself and of your team during a crisis. So whatever was acceptable before may not be now. Whereas, when things are good, you have a little bit more leeway and flexibility with things that you're willing to accept. During a crisis, it is crunch time. So I know that some of you have dealt with letting people go, and that was unfortunately necessary in order to keep your business afloat. With the people that you do keep, are they raising the bar? Are they doing things in a way where they're leveling up and doing the right type of work to possibly generate more income and more revenue for the business? And treat people well, and you will reap the benefits of good times and bad. The people that you work with and deal with will always remember how you responded during this crisis. So it's similar to that saying, people don't remember what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. And so this is the same thing. I feel like this pandemic right now is similar to what we experienced in 9/11 and with the recession. I remember exactly where I was, who I was with, and the environment I was in when those planes went into the towers. So this is something very similar, I feel like, where everyone's going to remember where they were, who they were with, and what life was like at that exact moment that we had to quarantine and change our life and our lifestyles. And so with your team and the people that are closest to you, just try to remember that you're going to get through this together. And during the bad times, to just try to keep yourself in check. And that kindness goes a long way. Anyone have anything to add on here or have specific questions? No? Is Paula still here? I can't control mine.
Yeah, sorry, I just didn't unmute when you asked me and I was talking about my. Oh, so I wanted to add, yes, something, how I'm trying to handle this situation right now is just keep a positive mindset, trying to be the support for my family, and, you know, just going to bed early and waking up early, just kind of keeping the routine and meditating every day. I'm not drinking. It's funny, like one
Nice.
drink, it gets me sick. So funny, I don't know why. And I'm just not doing that, which is great. But yeah, just focusing on the things as we talked, I can't control, and just writing, I think, is helping me a lot. But I'm not, you know, seeing on the news every day because it's overwhelming, as somebody was saying. It's something you can do for your well-being. I'd rather read it, right, and just keep it simple. I think this is an opportunity to grow in many ways. So I think this is really something really positive for me. If it makes sense, it doesn't sound selfish, but it's something, yeah, that I'm trying to take advantage of it, right? And connecting with people is great. And yeah, just keeping it simple.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Craig, do you have anything to add here?
I think in terms of, I guess if the question is about how I'm handling it, I mean, one thing that I've kind of rediscovered to kind of keep me, I mean, obviously from the normal, trying to keep structure during the day, but I've also trying to just exercise more. I mean, you know, I used to go to the gym every day, and once it was closed, it was kind of like interrupting my normal flow of things. Because I would typically go work out in the morning, but instead what I've been doing is I've rediscovered my bike. So in the evening, I've actually been exploring different new neighborhoods on bike, and it's actually been really nice because it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like my little meditation where I'm very present. I'm seeing a lot of different areas of LA that I've never really seen. I mean, I've been on all the major boulevards, but I've never been on all these side streets. So it's been really fun to just kind of explore the different areas and neighborhoods, and I'm just taking this time to kind of explore the neighborhood and also get some fresh air and get some exercise. And by nature of it being by bike, I'm obviously keeping my distance from everyone else.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you. For those of you who are leading and supporting your team, maybe Chris, Sabrina, Mariana, what can you say about who you're being through this and how you're communicating with your team?
I think you have to be very, very open and communicate sooner, more often than you used to. So for us, even though we are located in different parts of the planet, we are trying to do a worldwide meeting, at least bi-weekly. And then what we're doing is shifting who gets the bad time zone to make it fair for everyone. And at the same time, also communicate exactly, because I know that it's creating a lot of anxiety for everyone in the team. We already had the conversation of cutting your hours or with being going from full-time to part-time, and all of that. And so we tackled that problem first, and then from there we are doing a worldwide meeting, you know, like I said, like at least twice every week, every other week, I mean. and then making sure that everyone knows where we're standing economically and what we're doing, so that we can minimize the amount of anxiety that is creating for the team. Because once anxiety and fear kicks in, then obviously productivity goes down. We are definitely giving a lot more support to those that have children, dependents, or that have a little bit of a worse health conditions than others, with the approval of everyone else on the team. That's has been created a really a more positive engagement, and definitely has gotten us to talk a lot more and brought out a lot more ideas that we maybe wouldn't have never, maybe someone wasn't able to share that before because they were feeling like they wouldn't be heard or something like that. So it's created a positive environment for sure.
Great. Have you had to have any layoffs?
Luckily, just one. And everybody else, including I caught my salary, my co-founder caught his salary, and then everybody else decided to either go part-time or go on a 4-day week in order to keep as many people as possible.
That's awesome. That's great. Chris, how about you? How are you finding leading your team during this time? Is Chris still there? No? Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing, Mariana. Okay. So don't let this crisis go to waste. Use it as an opportunity to build, grow, learn, or understand yourself or your business better. This is a great time to create that competitive advantage, like I said, allowing you to see maybe some blind spots that you weren't open to. So do that SWOT analysis and create that clear picture and that blueprint of not only yourself, but also of your business. Because when this all ends, and it will, have you sharpening your sword and building and growing and learning is only going to make you ready when this is on the other side. And there's going to be such a trajectory when this is all over, because people are going to be starving for social life and for shopping and just being in places. And I think people are going to really want to celebrate at the end of all this. And so once that is allowed, the economy is going to pick right back up again. So are you going to be prepared for that uptick as well? So do this for your business, for yourself, your team, your partner, your family, and for your life. Any questions? Any comments?
I have a question for you, Jen. I mean, for everyone, going through all of this, there is a lot of speculations how everything is going to be in the future. And the real question for me here is, how do you guys see the whole social behavior in terms of one another? You think everything is going to be like everybody distance and like everything is going to be, online for business. And I mean, it seems that everything is going to change tremendously. So the question here is, how do you see the whole world in business, in anything, in film, in fashion, how it's gonna be? Like, I mean, I know it's gonna be a speculation here, but it's nice to have an idea maybe of how everything is gonna go back to normal and what's gonna be normal. Anybody?
Well, I think like Jen was saying, I think eventually there will be an uptick in the economy. I think like right after, as soon as we, are released from our homes, I think everyone's going to run to all the stores and run to all the restaurants and go buy things. I think I was saying my concern for my business is that I won't rebound as quickly. And that's also a speculation. I don't know. It could be the opposite, but I said that just because I feel like it won't be top of mind as soon as people return back to the physical office. They may have other priorities corporate wise, but I do think in general the world is going to rush to do things. And so they'll be eager to spend money and get out. And I think, like you said, Jen, we should all be prepared for the uptick as well. You know, be prepared for how can we launch new products and do different things for like the few months after this is over.
Yeah, personally, I hope this gets people to wash their hands more, because I have never heard it be so topic than it has now. And I had just hoped that coronavirus wasn't the only reason why people were washing their hands.
Yeah, agreed. The first thing I said when this happened was like, are people just not washing their hands on a regular basis? Because I think that that's a normal everyday practice. And
yeah, absolutely. And I think also too, I think maybe one of the opportunities here is that because we have been in quarantine now, you know, coming up on 30 days for a lot of us, and it looks like it could be for another 30 days and even till June or July, I'm hearing, which is all speculation, we are going to be starving for places to gather, for places to be with people and connect again. So I can't wait to do, you have seen the memes, right? Where I didn't realize my top 3 hobbies were going to restaurants, going to non-essential businesses, and picking my face or touching my face or something like that. And I think it's just so true, is that like if we actually are allowed to go to all the businesses and all those places again, that Sabrina, I think that if you can get through these next few months here, that once your doors open, people are just going to come back, because we all miss going to businesses and seeing people and saying hi to our regulars and things like that, and having that connection. Of course, it's great that we have technology, but at the same time, I mean, I think that human connection and that social interaction is just crucial to our survival, really. And I just realized that Ben has been with us too. Oh, Sabrina, did you have something to say?
Oh yeah, no, I was just going to say that too. I think, you know, people at first I think might be a little leery about going out, but I do really think things are going to pick up hugely for restaurants and retail. I know we're already planning for a big celebration once things get back up. So it's going to be a matter of like, do we have enough stock? Are we staffed?
Yeah.
Because people will definitely want to come out and socialize.
Yeah. Do we
again.
have enough bubbly for everyone?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that was all I really had to add to that. Nothing much. So
great.
Yeah.
Thanks. Ben, are you still there?
Let me see. Hey guys, yeah, so I joined late, and oh, I guess the space background is on, because I was playing around with Zoom yesterday because there was a webinar on Zoom, and I guess I learned a lot about myself.
Great. I've seen that before. Any comments?
But yeah, I think the only comment I want to make is, so I've been actually working from home. So I work for a defense contractor right now, and I've been working from home for like the 4th week and going on. And I realized I'm not as introverted as I thought. And I'm actually very much missing the like swing by a coworker's cube, and those kind of interactions are a lot harder because I have to, let's say, more diligently keep track of my time. So yeah, I guess there are a lot of aha moments in terms of kind of focusing on yourself and learning more maybe about like sharpening the sword, either yourself or your business in that sense.
Very cool. Thank you. All right. So in conclusion, I realize that these times are challenging and difficult for all of us. My number one goal is to give you value and help you through this crazy time. And I realize that some of you may not be in the position to do anything like coaching or anything right now, but also maybe some of you are. And if it is a good time for you to work on yourself and on your business, then let's stay in touch and we can schedule a 15-minute call and continue the conversation. And if not, that's totally cool. And I hope you got a lot of value from today. So let's stay in touch. All right, so how can I stop sharing here? Where am I? Oops. Stop share. Yes. All right. So anyone have just more questions for each other? Anything you want to share or talk more about or dive deeper into?
I have a comment.
Yes.
So in response to, I forget her name, about like what the future might look like, I almost feel like this is really society, especially America's great awakening in terms of understand. This pandemic has really revealed a lot of cracks in our society and have made open how important it is certain societal things are. And I think after this all goes away and hopefully we return to some sense of normalcy, we're going to have a much newfound appreciation, and there's going to be a lot of new, I think, governmental programs and policies. I'm thinking like healthcare, like it really, now it makes it so important about access to healthcare and how the importance of healthcare is. And it brings to light all the people in the US who don't have healthcare, and people on the front line, like service employees at supermarkets and low wage employees who are literally keeping our economy going and keeping us all alive. And so I think I'm hopeful that as a result of this crisis and this pain, we're going to come away much stronger, and it's going to be difficult and painful. But the only way that we can grow is if we suffer a little bit of pain. So it's almost like exercising. In order to get a little bit better in terms of strength training, you have to suffer a little pain to get a little bit better. So optimistic in terms of society, in terms of the whole global community coming together and finding ways to realize our commonality and our ability to progress as a global society.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Just one more thing, I think in relation to what Craig was saying, the first couple of days that this happened, I think it really does reveal the cracks in society, like you were saying. And for me, it was just breaking the head saying passive income. That was the first thing I thought, because I really just believe everyone, every single human, no matter what line of work you're in, whether you make a large salary or not, you should have passive income for times like this, because there are some people, few, but some people who are just coasting and hanging out right now at their home and feeling carefree. And I mean, I don't know, it just, you think of passive income, my mom's in wealth management and she always says that I thought of passive income before Corona, but when it actually hit home and it happened, it's like, holy crap, everyone needs to have some sort of alternative. So whether it's real estate or investing, voiceovers or online courses, whatever it is that can be more passive to you and not require a lot of time and energy on your part, that's amazing for times like this and future. Just think everyone should have passive income. That's just my PSA.
Thank you. Well, a little segue. What was the most, oh, yes, Craig?
I was just going to add real quick. I totally agree that passive income is great, but not to be Debbie Downer, but I was talking to my uncle the other day. He has about a dozen rental properties up in the Bay Area, and he was saying since there's all these different municipalities have implemented delayed rental payments, he was really worried about him being a landlord of these different properties, how he's going to pay the mortgage. So I was thinking, oh gosh, I didn't really think about that, but obviously it makes sense. But so yeah, it's interesting just how it's great to have passive income, but even sometimes it's not a fail-safe.
No, of course not, but rather just an opportunity. You're able to, create that for yourself. Okay, great. I just want to end our call today with perhaps everyone sharing what the most impactful thing from today was, or what was something that gave them the most value. So Kelsey, why don't you go?
I think just hearing where everyone's kind of at and how everyone's kind of feeling. I think knowing that you're not alone and everyone's in it together is an impactful feeling.
Awesome. Thanks. Mariana?
Takes a while to find the unmute button still. Yeah, I think the most valuable is seeing other people and maybe not feeling as alone. When it comes to what other entrepreneurs and what other, people in other industries are going through. Because at the end of the day, we are all in this together. So yeah, that has been the most valuable.
Absolutely. Thank you. And something that I want to ask each and every one of you, what are you committed to in the next 24 hours? Mariana?
Committed to. I am actually committed to finally create some big user stories and epics for my latest products.
Yay. Sounds good. Thank you. Kelsey, how about you? What are you committed to for the next 24 hours?
I think maintaining the routine that I kind of set out for myself and the structure I set out for myself, just
Nice.
to in a good space.
Awesome. Good. Paula, what was the most impactful thing today, and what are you committing to in the next 24 hours?
I think it's important what you say about the blueprint, just to know, my strengths and weakness and see an opportunity and all of that. So just planning, putting it down on paper, it will help me a lot. So I think that will be my next 24 hours task that I will be doing. So it will help me a lot for sure to understand where I'm going and how am I gonna do this, and maybe, come up with a great idea or business, who knows?
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll put the link for more information on that SWOT analysis from one of the first slides in the Facebook group. Ben, when did you join us?
Very good question. So I was actually on a work meeting for a while, so maybe like 15-20 minutes into it.
Oh yeah, but what slide did you come in on?
Oh goodness. Let me see. What did I take? Oh, SWOT analysis? I don't know what happened before that, I guess.
It's all good. Since this is recorded, I'm going to have a link as well if you want the rest of the presentation. But what was the most impactful thing for you today?
I think honestly, like one of them is honestly the people aspect, just seeing other people out there and how they're doing, like someone else mentioned. And I think one of the things is also like working on yourself and sharpening the sword.
Yeah.
And I have bought a lot of books over the last year, like since 2019, and I have yet to like finish most of them. So since I'm indoors, hopefully I'll get more of them done. Because like one of them is like growth mindset, I think. And then yeah, they're just things that I feel like I need to work on, or I know I have a shortfall on, but
cool.
it's like
Okay.
I haven't done
So
it.
then what will you commit to in the next 24 hours?
Yeah, I can read like maybe like 20 pages or 10 pages of the book. I mean, I bought it out yesterday.
20 to 10. Okay, sure. 10 pages.
But yeah, I'll start actually reading it because I have it on like my bed, and
Awesome.
I just never got to it yesterday.
No time like the present. Craig.
In terms of takeaways, I think there are two. I really like your quote that you had about using this time of crisis to sharpen our skills, whether personally and professionally, so that we can come out ahead at the end of this. And then the second one was what I often like to say in terms of public speaking, where you said people don't often remember what you say specifically, but they remember how it made you feel.
Yeah.
And you're talking that in terms of like a colleagues or teammates or somebody in like an organization you're with. So I thought that was really interesting to also think about, because it is very applicable when you speak, but also in your interactions with people. They're going to remember how you made them feel during this time of crisis versus necessarily what you may have said. And then in terms of commitment for the next 24 hours, I would just have to say, I mean, I'm continuing to write up some mock-ups for a new pivot that we're working on as a result of the new corona pandemic.
Fantastic. Thank you. Last but not least, Stephanie.
Hi. I would say the biggest takeaway is what you said about being ahead of the trends and planning for what people will need right after. What can I offer right after? And I actually, as you said that, I wrote down 3 big ideas for what I can do right after for like physical events, because my business is like half events. I do a lot of wellness events, but just brainstorming a specific one that could be like a after party type of thing, or something that people will need. So that was helpful. And for the next 24 hours, I'm going to cheat and say 2. One of them would be stick to a schedule, because I am just awful with structure sometimes. So today I did pretty good with the schedule, but I really have to commit to timing and block scheduling. So committing to that. And then I'm doing this online course on creating my online course. It was free, and it's for wellness professionals in particular. So our homework is to basically map out everything for the course. So I just want to lay on the floor with a bunch of notebooks and sticky notes and map out everything through tomorrow night. So
Excellent. Right on. Thank you so much. Well, thank you everyone for being with us for the last hour. Hope you got a ton of value. If you want to continue the conversation and schedule a 15-minute call with me, stay on and let's get that in the books. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. This was really
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.